This is reality. This isn't messing about. He's not smiling in this picture. This is reality. This is what is happening to our children today. I'm fed up at the moment of turning the TV on, turning the radio on and listening. There were 2 stabbings last night, 10 minutes from where I live. It's just people like me and Champion's mum. You do not know what we are going through until you are a victim's mum or dad. It is awful. Now I want to tell you a little bit about my son. Everyone's got their own story. Everyone's entitled to their own story, and everyone's story is different. It doesn't matter what colour you are. It doesn't matter what nationality you are. It doesn't matter what religion you are. We all feel the same pain. We all feel the same hurt, and our families are all heartbroken in the same way. Now, my son, there he is there. Never been in trouble with the police at all. Worked 2 jobs, worked for Haydens Council. He did security for 9 years until he died. He'd been on TV. He worked on This Morning. He actually did Elton John's, one of his balls, his charity balls. He did Peter Crouch's wedding. He only got on the front of the Sun because he was a celebrity's bodyguard. He didn't get on the Sun because it was Ricky Haydens. He got on the front of the newspaper because of who he worked for. Now, this is my son. To the government, he is a number and a statistic. To me, is my son, Ricky Haydens, and that's how he should be remembered. I'll just tell you a little bit more about my son and the night and that this happened. Fun-loving, cheeky, caring, not a bad bone in his body. He would help anybody. Life and soul of the party, but people thought he was really quiet. But he was in a world of his own. But everybody loved him. The day of his funeral, Cribs turned around and said to me, we have never known the amount of people that have turned up for a funeral in Haydens. They've never ever seen it. Now I thought my son was a loner because he was sitting there on his phone all the time. And I used to think, get out there boy, go and do something. But he was doing it in his own way. He was helping people when needed, not all the time. Now I want to just tell you about the night my son died. Now this is reality. This is reality, and these are the exact things that happened that night. He was at home in bed, in the same house as his dad. There were some youths that had caused problems on his estate. 6 weeks of it they put up with. They came down our road that day on a moped, 2 machetes in the back of the moped in the box. Tried to see my younger son's moped on the drive. They thought they'd chance it and steal the moped. Little did they know we had cameras on the house. Unfortunately, I wish we didn't now. The cameras went on. One of the youths came up to the front. So their dad went out and told him what you're doing. He started swearing at him, abuse, told him, basically to do one. The boys woke up, they come down the stairs, and obviously went down the road after the youth. At the back of the motorbike, they pulled 2 machetes. My son then was in his boxers and a gold chain. That's all he had on him. An altercation happened. I see that on the video at the Old Bailey. They were swiping with the knives. My son was trying to defend himself. He had cuts over his hands, cuts over his feet. He was sliced here, there and everywhere trying to defend himself. He actually got stabbed in the thigh, hit a main artery. There he was on the floor, bleeding to death. The neighbours tried to help. I didn't know all this at the time because a lot of the information was not closed until I got to call. While this was happening, they got my son, they got air ambulance to meet him. They got my son into the ambulance. Before the ambulance could pull away, my son had 3 blood transfusions and a heart attack. That is before he left the actual site of where he was stabbed. He then made his way to London Hospital by air ambulance, which I had to meet him there. Now, I walked into that hospital not realising that I was going to walk on away. I had to make that decision then to amputate his leg to save his life. And as a mother, you know, you nurture your child. You know, you look after them when they're ill. But making a decision like that, I should never have had to do. Never. Never. Well, it was his only chance of living, so I did. Meanwhile, at the same as Ricky got stabbed, his dad got stabbed as well, outside. So he was now on his way to Chelmsford Hospital because he'd been stabbed. And they also cut the dog's throat as well. Oh. Okay? And the dog, one of the neighbours took the dog to the vets. The dog had a zigzag slice right down the front of his chest. The dog survived. The dog survived. But the dog did not hurt anybody. The dog just ran up the road and they just sliced him without any malice at all. They did not care. So anyway, I'm up the hospital, London Hospital. I gave them permission to amputate my boy's leg, knowing full well he would work for Haydens Council and he was also security. I'm thinking, what's he going to do with his life? Little did I know, 18 hours later, his brain started to swell. His brain swelled so much they told me they could not do anything for him. Nothing at all. Now this boy has never been in trouble. He's never done anything wrong in his life. He's loved by everyone and still is. Lost his life for no reason. And the only reason I can see it is people, two boys that came onto this estate, chose the wrong path because you're not given that path, you choose it. Okay, you choose it. You have a choice in life, and if you choose the wrong path, then you need to pay the consequences. Unfortunately, for legal reasons, I can't go into a lot of the court case, but I did not get justice. The justice I wanted, I did not get it. Okay? One of the boys that came away from the court then went on 4 months later, got caught carrying a machete, cocaine, stolen car and drugs money. He got 5 years. He's out now. He's out now. Now my boy got stabbed 4.5 years ago. He got 5 years, a year after my son. He's out now. Walking the streets. Where is my boy? Where are my family? My family, my daughter's sitting over there. I have to wake up every single day and look into my daughter, look into my son's eyes, see the hurt, the pain that they feel by losing their brother. It's not fair. As a mother, you look after your child. You bring them up. They fall over. You hurt. You give them a cuddle. They get hurt. They get sad. I can't help them. I cannot help them. How can I bring their brother back? How can I do it? Now, to me, it's okay. We start from young. Educate. Education is a good remedy at the moment, okay? But scrap the justice system. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. I sat there for 31 days looking at the jury, okay? My judge wanted to put them both away for murder. They let one go. The jury was sitting in the actual jury part, playing with the knife that killed my son, practising stabbing each other. I watched that with my own eyes, okay? I'm sitting in the because only two, if anyone's been in the Bay, there's only 2 members of the family that are allowed to sit. The rest have to go up in the gallery. Well, you sit here and the actual box is there where they're put in, okay? Now, so they're right next to me. So my liaison officer stands in front of me as one of them comes out to give evidence. I said, why are you doing that? He said, Casey spits in your face. It's known. Now, I'm sitting there, that I've just lost my son, and I've got 2 youths in front of me that chose to take the wrong path. And I said chose because previous to that, one of the boys was given a flat, he was given a mentor, and he was given a college course. Okay? He chose to put that behind him and carry on his life, drug dealing, causing carnage, stealing cars, and killing people. Okay? Now, that one of the guys now, okay, is wanted, is on a callback because he's broke his conditions. Now to me, I sat through all that in court for what?
Nothing.
Nothing. Where's my child? I would not be here today if I didn't have my daughter over there, if I didn't have my son, and if I didn't have my 2 grandchildren. I wouldn't be here today because this world is cruel. This world is falling apart. Nobody cares. Nobody. I've said to Sadiq Khan, walk in my shoes for one day and I'll walk in yours. See if you can handle it. No response. 4 years later, no response. No response from the politicians. I've been on the radio last week. Was outside City Hall with Courtney last week. We didn't really get that much news coverage. Why? We're victims. We are the victims of knife crime. We should be heard. You know, I am fed up with not being heard. But I tell you what, I will be heard now. Because as 4.5 years later, I am fed up with just being disregarded. No? Other things in life come before us, but no. These children are being killed day by day. Last night there was one, a little one down the road to me. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with waking up, looking at the same news, people getting killed. Oh, people turning the paper over. They don't care. They don't care. I am living proof that something needs to happen, and I will make it happen now because I am angry. Yes. I am. Everyone that is fighting, the community, the professionals, the politicians, the victims, we should all come together and fight as one, unity. I'm not seeing that at the moment. I'm not seeing that. There should be more people out there having our back because we are the people that should be heard. We are the people that are suffering. We are the people that have got heartbroken families. My family has been ripped apart. I've lost my mum since through this. Now, I haven't done nothing wrong in life. Nor has my children done nothing wrong in life. So I really don't know why we're put through this. But I tell you what, you will be hearing from me. I will not let this rest. I will go on every single TV channel, newspaper that I can get on. I've been doing it peacefully. I'm sick of doing it peacefully because I'm still not being heard. So something drastic has got to be done. We've got to make ourselves heard. For me, I just want to say, rest in peace to my son. Rest in peace to Champion. Rest in peace, I know 4 people. Rest in peace to my daughter's friend Sluey. Rest in peace to everyone that has suffered from knife crime. What else can I say? Thank you for having me on.